We've got our Violet Rain candle here to set in the mood. I'll put that over there. I have a little fan right here. It's really hot in here today. Put that over there. How is everybody's day going? It's been so busy at work. Super busy. So, what are we going to start with today? I think if I do C, that would take most of that. I think I should be finishing this today and then start up here. C is 20. Hello, how are you doing? Just getting set up here. Just finished work, got my dishes done. And when I work, I watch YouTubes. And there seems to be a real trend of people not wanting to date anymore. Is anybody else finding that too? Or I don't know. It just seems like everybody is over this dating thing and are just completely done with it. Speaking for myself, I have been single for coming up on 2 years. My relationships were not great. Um, my my man picker is totally broken. So after my last relationship, I decided that's it. I'm done for a bit. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to, hi, how are you doing? I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to just do some healing and learn how to do slow living and just learn how to really enjoy my life on my own. So that's what I've been really focusing on, especially this year. At the beginning of this year, I decided that I was really going to focus on myself and experiencing new things, um, eating new foods, going to new places, experiencing, new activities, trying new crafts, meeting new people, all of that kind of stuff. And so far, I've done really well at it. My daughter and we go out and we do so many things. It's so much fun. Um, and the more I do this, it's like I don't even think I want to have a relationship because I'm so independent now. Like I've never really been independent. I've always been in a relationship or, had friends to go and do stuff with. And I've really focused on myself, my healing, and looking at my friendships and seeing if they really, do these people, how could I put it? Do they add value to my life or do they add stress to my life? And if somebody adds stress to my life, they've got to go. Like I just cannot do it. Thank you so much. I enjoy every time you come on. Thank you. So, so I just decided that that's it. I'm done with the dating. I'm done with the nonsense. Last year, I'd been on a couple of dating sites, and honestly, the effort that some men put in nowadays is just absolutely ridiculous. Like it is just crazy, the lack of effort. It just, I don't know if it's always been like this or if it's just the people that are single now. I don't know. But the lack of effort, I went on one date last year, and first of all, he was late, which did not throw me at all. I almost just got up and walked out. the next thing is we went for coffee, and at um, this was like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he said, "Oh, I have to go to the washroom." So he went and went to the washroom, came back out, and he smelled like alcohol. And I thought, oh, maybe he used some, um, hand sanitizer or something. But I kept smelling it. So I think what he did is he went into the bathroom and had a drink. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, who does that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? You cannot go without a drink for like a half an hour or an hour when you're on a date. Like, this is crazy. It was horrible. Like, who does this kind of stuff? So that really turned me off of men. And I just deleted all of my profiles and just decided that no, I'm just going to do this on my own. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to heal all of my, childhood stuff, everything, because I want to live the rest of my life happy and, content, not with some person that is a man child that expects you to look after them and that you should be doing everything. That's how my relationships have gone. It's always the guys expect, well, yeah, you can work your full time job, but you still need to look after the house. You still need to pay 50-50. You need to, do this and that. And it's just ridiculous. Like, I'm not a slave. Um, it's not just my house. So why should I have to do that? Here, when I'm on my own, if there's a mess, it's because I made the mess. And yes, I'll clean it up. But to look after a grown man who it just is, I don't know, I don't see it anymore. I don't think that's right. I think they just take advantage of women, and that's just not right. I hope that any woman that is in that situation understands that it shouldn't be that way. If you're in a relationship with somebody who really cares about you and who is there for the genuine right reasons, they'll help out. They'll help you, with the kids. They'll help you in the kitchen. They'll cook. They will clean the bathroom for you. They will, do laundry. They will, do stuff, and they won't complain about it because that's just part of being in a couple. It's like, it's not our job as women to be having to do everything. That's just not fair. I don't think it's fair. We're not in the 1950s anymore. So we shouldn't be expected to have to do what they did back then. I'm not sure if you guys agree with that or disagree with that, but it just is ridiculous. So what I've been doing is just, I've started art classes, I've done painting, I've done all sorts of different things. I've went and done tons of different activities, went to different farms and markets, and um, just so many different activities that I wouldn't have done if I was in a relationship, because the types of men that I was interested in before didn't like that kind of stuff. Um, so now I do what I want to do when I want to do it and with who I want to do it. It's so much more free and simple, just being on my own and being able to do whatever I want to do. I really enjoy the types of things that I do now. Like um, I went to art galleries, which is something I would never do before. I went to a candlelight. It's like they play violins and play songs, and they were doing ABBA and Queen. It was really cool. It was really a really nice experience. I'd never seen anything like that before. So it was really a fun experience, something new to try, an evening out. And it wasn't stressful. It wasn't going with somebody that really didn't want to be there and they're being grumpy and whatnot. because that's what it always felt like in my past relationships, that it was an inconvenience to do something that I wanted to do, um, when I would do things that they would want to do. And it's sort of, a give and take. That's just part of being in a relationship. You should be doing that. So I'm finding that it's easier to live a slower life and learn about it because I am on my own. I don't have the noise of somebody else, questioning me, or, why are you doing that? Why did it take you so long when you went shopping? Why this? Why that? I can just go and spend all day if I want. And it just feels so much more freeing being on my own. And I see it seems to be a trend. Like, I see it everywhere online. People are just getting totally against dating and just not interested in it anymore. So I don't know if anybody else is finding that too, or if you still are dating, not dating. Maybe you're in a relationship and you found a really nice person, and that's great. I really do believe that there are good people out there with the right motives, and they will treat people properly. There are bad people out there as well, though, unfortunately. So, uh, yeah, I was just watching one lady. I just found her on YouTube. 21. And she does slow living as well. And she was talking about all the benefits of being single. And, she went and got a B&B for 3 days to, went away for the weekend. And it's like, that is such a great thing to do. Just treat yourself to a weekend away. She is an older lady like me. She's got a little dog too. It's so cute. So I'm not sure what other people think of this, or if they've seen this trend as well. I do have friends that are same way. They're just not interested in dating, not interested in being in relationships, and just doing their own thing, being happy, content, nobody to answer to. I like having just the dog to answer to. All right, Brucey boy. He has had his dinner already. So that is good. So with the slow living thing, I wasn't even sure if I was doing it properly, but it sort of just happened. Um, I just sort of started slowing down, and I started um, doing more relaxing things, and it just all sort of fell into place. Sorry, I lost my focus there for a second. Um, what was the 9? I hadn't really understood slow living, but then when I got like I'm reading a book here about it, and the way it's described, it's like, okay, I'm doing that. I've taken time away from social media, so I'm not doing as much online as what I used to. And I am just focusing on myself becoming a better person. Um, and when I'm doing something, I'm really focused on that particular thing. So I'm not over analyzing things. I've always been had a very analytical mind. So I analyze the crap out of things usually. So I'm really learning not to do that because it is not fun to do that. I can go over situations a million times and still not understand it. So there's no point trying to, overthink anything. It's just really a waste of time. So I am trying to stop doing that, as well as stop reacting to things. That's really hard as well. Um, and I think being on my own, because I've been in relationships where the person would try to like create problems. I know that probably doesn't make sense to some, but some people just like to create issues with other people and get them angry and upset. So, being on my own, I don't have people usually doing that, which is really nice. So, my stress level has went down so much. Like I used to be stressed continuously. Now I'm not, which is really nice. I saw a 6 in here. Where was it? Right there. It almost feels weird not being stressed when you have been in that state of stress for so long. And it's like, wow, what's going on? There's calm instead of all of that. So, this is the diamond painting I'm doing. It is finished here and here. Now I'm just going to start this one. Yeah, so I thought I would just talk about the stuff that I was watching today and how much more relaxed I feel without um, taking focus off of dating, off of relationships, and just putting that energy back onto yourself. It could be so healing and so good for you. It helps with healing and seeing things for really what they are when you take the time to, I guess it's sort of analyzing, but when you're seeing patterns in your life, my entire life had been patterns of accepting behavior that I never should have. And I had to be 100% real with myself and take accountability that I was the one that was allowing this. Um, and understand that I didn't deserve that. I didn't do anything to deserve that. And that any blame that I got for that was just, the person deflecting and just trying to make me feel guilty so that I would put up with that bad behavior. So being single does have a lot of um, benefits. And people wonder, do you get lonely? For me, I'm sort of a quiet person, so I don't like being around people a lot. So for me, I really enjoy my time by myself. I really enjoy the quiet. I enjoy, just the solitude of it. So it doesn't, I'm not lonely. I wouldn't think that I was lonely. I would say I have moments like, you're watching a movie or something and there's a couple on there and you're like, yeah, that would be nice one day. But it's not like a loneliness or or jealousy or anything that somebody else has that. It's just that feeling of maybe one day, maybe not. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. I'm totally fine on my own. I was raised by a single mom, and I never really understood how she could be on her own for so long, but now I get it. It totally makes sense. And it seems to be a way for women nowadays. So many of us are just deciding that enough is enough. It's much easier to be by ourselves and avoid all that stress and stuff. Thank you so much for the likes. I really appreciate it. How about anybody else? Do you have any thoughts on that? Or are you in a relationship? Have you managed to find somebody that treats you in a way that you feel respected, valued, understood, and that you know that you matter? I know in my past relationships, most of them that wasn't the case, unfortunately. But I can't say I regret it because it taught me so much and has changed me into a complete different person. Like who I was 2 years ago compared to who I am now is totally different. 2 years ago, had extreme anxiety. I wouldn't even want to go to the store by myself, wouldn't want to do anything by myself. Um, and now I don't care. I go do all sorts of stuff on my own. And that's just from being alone and taking the time to heal is a really huge thing. It's super important. Um, I'd say that it's probably one of the most painful things you'll do because when you're healing, you sort of have to, if you want to fully heal and go back to like your childhood and whatnot, um, you're sort of reliving that, and it could be very painful if you've went through a lot of hard things. But it really is worth it. I just cannot stress enough how worth it is, and just embracing the pain and getting through it. It's the best thing that I've ever done for myself, honestly. Well, aside from having my kids, but um, like strictly for myself, healing is something that I'm really proud of it because it was very, very hard. And I hope that anybody that is on that journey understands that it doesn't last forever. It really doesn't. I remember in the first months of being on my own, and I was so scared and I was so upset. I mean, this person was the person that I thought I was going to be with for the rest of my life. And we were supposed to be buying a home and all of this kind of stuff. And so it's not just losing your partner, you're losing your best friend, you're losing your future, you're losing basically everything. Like I started from scratch. I didn't even have a fork to eat with. I went up to the store up the street here and got a plastic fork until I ordered stuff online from Amazon. And it was a real struggle. But now when I look back at that, it's like I did it. I did this for myself. I made my life better by pushing through and by choosing myself. I literally chose myself my peace of mind, my peace. Um, and I'm very grateful to myself for doing that because I didn't for so many years. I didn't, and I knew I had to choose myself to get out of that pattern. I'd finally realized that the reason I was picking the same types of guys and was attracted to the same types of guys was because there was something inside of me that was broken, I guess you could say. So I had to sit down and I had to really think about what that was, and that had to do with my father. I won't get into all of that. Um, but I was picking the same types of guys that he was, like how he treated me. These men in my life were treating me the exact same way. So I had to, go back and face all of that and just understand that when my dad was being that way, I was just a little girl. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't my fault. He was just that type of person. He was just very avoidant. He he was just all about himself. As far as I'm concerned, he was a narcissist, and then I in turn found narcissists to be with, and I think that's because it was familiar. I was familiar with having to try and win my father's approval, and so that sort of set me up for when I was dating. I thought I had to win the approval of my partners, which I didn't. Um, and understanding this and going through that, it was so worth it. Like, it's just absolutely amazing how healing and how much it can do for you, and it actually changes your life. You hear so many people saying, oh, this changes your life, that changes your life. When you actually heal your wounds and your trauma, you are giving yourself the best gift in your entire life that you could give yourself. You're freeing yourself from all of that you've been carrying around your entire life. um, or if it's something that happened later. When I look back at the things in my life, this is going to sound bad, but it is what it is. If I look back at all of my traumas in my life, every single one of them had to do with men, and that sounds terrible. And like I said before, I don't hate men. There are good men out there, so I'm not dogging on men. I'm just saying, for my situation, and the things that I went through, every single trauma had to do with men. And when you get to that point and you realize that, and you've taken the time to heal, you're healing, and then your standards, they go up so much. Um, if I even look at somebody who maybe 10 years ago I would have been attracted to, if I looked at that person today, it would be like, ugh, you know, because you can see they're probably people that drink, or they're probably have problems, they probably this or that. They're just not good people. And I can feel that now because I have taken time to heal and to understand um, people a lot better. I tend to now, I will sit back and observe rather than automatically thinking, oh, that person seems nice. Well, no, I'm not going to think that. I'm going to let them show me who they actually are. And now that I have spent so much time healing, I'm going to believe them when they show me. Um, so many times we will, how can I put it? We talk ourselves out of it. We see who somebody is and we're like, oh no, it's just, they're having a bad day, or, we make excuses for them. And we have to stop doing that. As women, we have to stop doing that and not accept that kind of behavior. If somebody's not good for you, we shouldn't be trying to work them into our lives anyway and accepting and settling for way less than what we deserve. Because if we do, then we're just going to keep on in the same patterns if we have bad patterns. Um, so I notice, like with healing, I have definitely um, like the type of person that I would have been interested in before is definitely not the type of person I might be interested in now. Um, but like I said, right at the moment, I'm not even interested at all. So, and I have mentioned I'm not anti-male or against all men and all of that, because I'm not. I know there are definitely really good men out there, men that will treat you absolutely amazing and treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. Um, but I just hope that if anybody out there isn't being treated the way they should be, that at least think about it. At least think about yourself and think, like, do I really want to be treated this way forever? Do I really want to live my entire life out like this? Or do I want to, maybe work on myself and deal with some of the things that would push down? I had so many things that I pushed down, I didn't even think about them. Or if I did, then I would just push them right out of my mind and not face them. And like I said, with the healing, it's the absolute best thing I've done for myself. I don't think I've ever felt so calm and stress free and like life is just completely different than it was a couple of years ago. And I'm so grateful for the healing that I did do, even though it wasn't fun. Um, it it was totally worth it. Like, I cannot say that enough. If you think 2 years ago, I would have been sitting here calm on just talking on here, I couldn't even do that. So the healing, it helps you grow, it helps you with your confidence, it helps you understand um, more who you are and who you want to become. I have like such a vivid idea of what I want to do in life. I have a vivid idea of um, where I want to end up, what I want to be doing. And, I can actually picture it and like feel myself in the environment that I want to be in. And it just feels wonderful to have the dreams and whatnot. Whereas before, when I was in my past relationship, all I could think about was trying to fix this relationship and trying to, make it work. Well, if I just did a little bit more, just a little bit more, maybe it'll work. And it doesn't matter what you do, it's there's always going to be more to do if you're with somebody that's toxic, and that's just the truth. So for myself, I am choosing myself. I am choosing to live my life the way I want to go and enjoy activities, to to really experience life and to live intentionally rather than just I was on my phone a lot, paying attention to, I used to do different direct sales things and that. And it was just sort of running away from the problems. It was just a way of pushing my problems out of my mind and giving me a distraction, basically. Um, and that did not work. I understood finally that I couldn't keep distracting myself. I had to stop, I had to slow down, and I had to face and take accountability for my part in everything, and to move through the pain of it, and to just to accept that I had things that I had to work on in my life, and I couldn't do that if I was in a relationship. There's no way I could have done it. So I have spent this, I think it's since about, it's almost a year that I went off of the, no, maybe not. I think it was like October or November that I went, just shut down every dating site. And it was kind of weird because my ex-husband was on there flirting with me, which was strange. Um, and then one of my son's friends' dads was on there. It's like, this is just no thanks. So I shut those all down and really just started living intentionally and a lot slower. I have been focusing on, I'm growing some vegetables and flowers outside, and I read books, and I have TV shows that are on during the week, but I don't watch them the um, till the weekend. So I might either Saturday or Sunday I'll watch my shows, and then the TV goes off for the rest of the week. Um, I was working a lot on content that I've sort of backed off a bit of that as well. So I'll be doing a lot more reading and doing these lives. I really enjoy doing the lives and meeting new people and just talking and all of that. It's a lot of fun. I've met a lot of really nice people. Let's see here. Any more sixes? Oh, there's one. So I hope I'm not coming off angry, or I just like to share my experiences and my views on things, which can be different than others, obviously. And I just seem to see a real trend going these days. Um, there's so many posts on Facebook about people just going solo and enjoying their lives, starting new activities. Last year, I learned how to paddleboard, which was really fun. I really enjoy it. I learned some clay art, which I do not like, I'm going to admit. Not a fan at all, but at least I gave it a try. And I've learned some acrylic painting. I've went to art galleries. I went to lots of little markets. 7, like little vendor things. I don't see any 8s in there. Nope, there's one. I really like the markets with all the vendors and baking and canning stuff. They're a lot of fun. It's nice to see all the talent. I'm hoping to get this done soon because I really want to start on my next one. I've got it right here, and it is a square diamond. I am actually really excited about that. I was watching some lady and she was going like this, and then okay, there we go. I like to learn stuff off of other people. So I'm not sure if anybody else is interested in slow living. I would really like to know more different, different ways people, what they do, how their lives are when they're slow living. The lady I was watching today, she's actually quite busy, and she says it is slower living, not slow living for her because she's still quite busy. But she has a massive YouTube channel. So I started watching her and subscribed because I want to follow along on her journey and see what she is up to. With it being summer, I have done some solo summers in my life and purposely did not date. And I've had the most wonderful summers when I do that. I am super active. I go and do a whole bunch of stuff. One time I did this, it was back in 2016 or 2017. Maybe it was 2017. And I had the best summer ever. I went to events even though I can be shy. I met up with probably, I don't know, about 20 people that I used to know from my past. And I just had an absolute blast. Spent a lot of time at the beach too. We haven't really been at the beach much this summer, unfortunately. Just put more wax on there. So this summer is another solo summer, and so far it's been really great. I think when we heal as well, um, our standards go up. Yes, definitely. I lost my train of thought. Hopefully it comes back. I think we become very like okay with being on our own. I never understood this. I was always that person that went from this relationship to the next relationship and really didn't have time on my own. So I was never healing anything because I was in relationship after relationship. And this time it just feels so different and so, it's like I held my breath for my entire life and I could just let it out finally and be just be myself, and that's enough. And that feels really good. It feels good to like matter to myself and to know that I'm enough and really believe that. It took quite a while for that. My arm keeps sticking to here. Let's see. Nope, there's the 9. If I do say so myself, I am very happy that my life took this turn and that relationship did not work out, and that I decided to put in the time and effort on myself and decided to um, heal and explore this slow living stuff. I have a little friend down here and he wants to come up and say hi. Just hold on. Hold on, hold on. You're scratching my legs with your little footy foots. Yeah, you're so excited, aren't you? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a good boy. There you go. Did you want to turn to come up and see? Yeah, that's such a good boy. You're just a kissy, kissy boy. He was such a good boy. Was it last night? I think it was. Yeah. There's a lady downstairs. I live in an apartment complex, and there's a lady that's been trying so hard to get him to be friends. And he finally let her pat him and he gave her a kiss. She was so happy. Yes, she was. She was so happy. It's okay. I got you. You're not going to fall. You're fine. That's a good boy. You're such a handsome guy. You are. You're just the most handsome boy ever. Oh my goodness. Yes, you are. That's a good boy. Are you done? Oh, yep. Ouch. What? You jumped down, not me. Goofy guy. Okay, so 10 is P. There we go. We've had our little visit with Brew. He loves to come up. I think he really missed that when his leg was sore. And that is another advantage. Having a dog is a lot of fun. He has helped me through things a lot. He is my bestie. That's Mama's bestie in the Westie. Animals are super healing. I think if I wasn't allowed to have one, I would visit somewhere that did have them just to get the contact with animals. I would probably go up to the pet store up here. One of the ladies that works up there is my neighbor. And she loves little Brucey Woosey every time she sees him. I am so excited to get this finished. I cannot wait. I really want to try that square diamonds, but I am a little bit anxious too because I don't know how to do it. Oh well, we're going to learn together, I guess. Did you want me to throw that for you? Whoop. Oh no, I spilled some. There you go. Okay, we need peas. Time goes so fast when I'm on here. I don't know why. I think the evenings go fast. Oh, I got lots of them on me. What's going on here? Just a mess over here. Okay. I woke up at 4:40 this morning and could not get back to sleep. So by about 3, I was ready for a nap, but I was still working. It's been hot, so what I've been doing is eating my my dinner at lunchtime. So I just have breakfast and then a big, my big meal at lunch. And then I have like toasted tomato sandwich with mayonnaise, some salt and pepper on some protein bread or something like that after I finish the live. What are you doing? Why are you licking the floor? That's not good to lick floors. You're silly. Okay. Well, I can't kick it if you're in the way, Goofy. You're silly. Trying to find all of the peas in here. What is going on there? Okay. After watching that lady going to Airbnb, that really makes me want to do that by myself. Just for a weekend. That would be so much fun. There's some more peas. There's another one. Oh, another few. Some of these colors are very similar. And when you look at the P and the B, they look similar as well, so it could be hard to figure out which is which. Oh, there's a couple more. Okay, none there. There's another one. Okay, I think I got them all there. Hello, hello, how are you doing? Just doing my diamond painting here. And I was chatting about being single, living the single life, doing whatever I want to do. Need to get comfortable here. There we are. There we go. Maybe I should turn this the other way. Probably be easier and a little bit more efficient. There we go. Now it's not as glary. I'm just trying to figure out other activities to do. Right now I sort of have a little routine. I have things that I do every day. And sort of looking for different activities to do at night. I don't work on this unless I'm live, or I would have been finished by now, I'm sure. And my mini ones are on the way. They just crossed the border this morning, I think. So that is nice. I'll be excited to see those. This is so nice when you have the squares right beside each other, blocks of them instead of spread out. Another thing I noticed that I'm living a bit slower is I used to be very spontaneous, and I notice I'm not as much anymore. I like to sort of have a plan and, not somebody. My daughter does this all the time. She'll message and, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Dude, I need to have some time to know what we're doing." Like, I'm usually up way earlier than her, but I'm doing other things, and I had to say, "We need to make plans like the day before." See, my mom was like this, and I didn't understand it. I'm turning into my mother. I mean, I guess spontaneity. I mean, if you're just sitting there doing nothing and you decide to, I don't know, go do something, that's fine. But when you don't know if there's plans or not, and I usually plan my day like, okay, I'm going to do food prep, or I'm going to, walk up to the store and get this and then cook that. And so I try to have my day planned the night before at least. And then there's some days that are just meant for doing a whole lot of not much. So those days I will just relax. I used to feel so guilty relaxing, and now I've learned to just accept that our bodies all need to have rest and relaxation. And it's not a bad thing. It's not being lazy. It's just we all need it. I think the older I get, the more relaxing I need. So it is nice to have days where there's just nothing much going on. I need some more. Thank you so much for the like. I really appreciate that. weird how I used to think that stress was just all part of it. It was just the way life was supposed to go, and it's not at all. Life does not have to be stressful. Obviously, things come up and create stress, but I no longer live in constant stress, and now my anxiety is getting a lot better to deal with. I find the anxiety comes mostly if there's something that I like, the unknown, like I didn't have a doctor for years and then I went to meet one last week, and it was a meet and greet, and I've never been to one, so I was stressing out like, who is this person? What are we supposed to be doing? I don't understand what's happening here. And when I got there, it was really super easy and nothing to stress about, but I was very anxious before I went. Now that I know where the office is, I know the doctor, and we've agreed that we're a fit and he's actually doing stuff, now I won't be anxious. And his office is right by the ocean, which is awesome. Hello, hello, how are you doing? I'm still working on my diamond painting here. I've got about two and a little over half of another square. Then I will be done. Here it is here. It's looking pretty. I wasn't sure if it would be really, like, if the hummingbird would show up, because these are not really sparkly, but it looks good. I really like it. One of these days I'm going to spoil myself and I'm going to buy a new diamond painting pen, a fancy one that's pretty. This one seems to have went way faster than the last one for some reason. I guess because I do longer lives as well sometimes. There we go. Put that over there. I think that would be fun to take a little, not even go very far, just somewhere by the water. Just take Bruce and I, and we could go rent a room for a couple days and just relax. read books, cook good food. That would be a lot of fun. Get some more wax in here. There we are. I like it when I get a rhythm going here. I'm wondering if this single trend, it just seems over the last, I don't know, 6 months to a year, that it just seems like there's so many different posts about people. They're just fed up. They just don't want to be a part of the dating scene. They don't want to be a part of low effort men. They don't want to be just a part of the dating scene at all. I think that a lot of women are discovering slower living and just enjoying their own company. I think when you can enjoy your own company and you're fine being on your own, I think that you become a lot more confident. And it really it brings you out of yourself. It brings a new part of yourself out. I don't know if that makes sense. I think that we're all living life, we're growing, we're evolving, and when you're on your own journey, you're single, you're healing, you're doing your own thing, you're getting over things like anxiety, you're getting over trauma, you're getting over all of these things, or maybe not over it, but you're going through it and dealing with it. And you know if you have things like I did, I had to take accountability for allowing myself to be treated in certain ways, and I had to understand that it wasn't all somebody else. Like, I was actually allowing myself to be treated in a way that is not acceptable. So we have to see our part in things, even though sometimes we don't feel that we are a part of things, that it's somebody else. And pointing fingers and trying to just blame somebody else, it doesn't really help. Because when we're with somebody, if they're not treating us properly, when we stay, we are reinforcing to them that it's okay to treat me this way. I'm staying. I'm hoping that you'll change. I'm hoping that you will, um, I guess, eventually see my worth and treat me in a different way. But I mean, why should they? You're accepting this shit behavior from them. And why would they change if you're going to allow it? There are people that really enjoy treating people badly, and they'll just keep doing it because you allow it. So that was something that was super hard for me to come to terms with. Like, I kept thinking, well, it's them, but I allowed it to happen, and I kept repeating the same pattern over and over and over again. So choosing myself and choosing to decide that enough is enough, something has to give here. I want to not only break this cycle for myself, I want to break it for the future generations as well. I want them to see me as, wow, my mom went through stuff or my grandma went through stuff, but she survived it and she became stronger, and she did that on her own. She didn't rely on somebody else to be there for her. I want to show them what strength looks like, and that sometimes we have to face our past pains and traumas, and we have to go through that and heal those things, or else we're just going to keep repeating the cycle over and over and over. And I think that, like with my mom, she was single for a long time. I think she was sort of trying to break that cycle. But back in those days, we didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about narcissism. We didn't talk about how we should be treated. We didn't talk about any of that because it was still, acceptable that the woman should be at home. She should be cooking and cleaning and looking after the kids. She should be taking them to all of their appointments. She should be, um, the house should be spotless. The dinner should be on the table when they get home. The whole thing. The men's job in life was to go to work and support financially. Now, the our parents didn't talk about these things. They didn't talk about, how they were treated poorly, or maybe they thought that was normal. I don't know. I think in this day and age, though, I think that with us talking about it, and there is so much information on how people should be treated, how you deserve to be treated, that you do matter, you're valuable, you, you're enough, all of this stuff. Like, my kids see that, and hopefully they take that with them and can then teach their children that, and that these things are talked about amongst the kids, because I think it's very important. Um, I mean, I had to figure out narcissism all on my own. I had no idea what it even was. I'd never even heard the word until I was in my 50s. So it's been a long journey figuring it out. And then it's been a long journey of breaking the pattern of being attracted to that type of a person. That sounds terrible, being attracted to somebody like that, but I guess when it's what you know, it's what you know. We each have our base of what feels normal or what seems normal, and that's usually because of how we were raised or how we experienced life when we were children and what we saw and all of that. So I hope that, like my kids and moving forward, that they have the information that they need so they can see, make better choices than what maybe I did or what my mother did or what my grandmother did, so that the future generations can live a bit better. I mean, if we think about it and we think of our own kids, we wouldn't want them to be with somebody that treated them the same way that we were treated if we were in a bad relationship. We would want them to be treated properly and never accept that type of behavior. But if we're out here modeling it and showing them that, here I'm with this person that isn't treating me with respect, that's got to be hard on the kids. They've got to be able to see that and wonder, like, what is my mom doing? Or do they see it as, well, that's how you're supposed to be treated because that's what my parents do? I wonder about that. I think that's the pattern, that they would do the same as what the parents are. Yeah, because I did the same thing that my mom did, so that makes sense. I just hope with people speaking out more that it helps somebody, and that if they need that message, that they're drawn to the conversation or the video, the short, the post, the whatever. If they need to see that they see it, and hopefully it clicks for them and they decide to choose themselves. I think that's really important, to choose ourselves. It can be hard to do at first when we're not used to it. What was that question I saw? Oh, one of my friends had asked, why do I feel guilty choosing myself? And I think she feels guilty because she's not used to doing it. She's used to being the mom. She's used to being the wife. She's used to being, driving the kids here, doing this, doing that, doing everything. And she's not used to choosing herself. But I believe that once she starts doing it, it's going to get easier. Every time you do it, it gets just a little tiny bit easier. There shouldn't be guilt when you're looking out for yourself and you're looking out for your best interest. You should never feel guilty about that. Even if you have to say no to somebody, that's fine. I didn't realize it was 6 already. I got to get Bruce out, and this time it went fast. So I did that much, and I'll finish up that other one tomorrow. I'm excited about that. Then there'll be 2 more. So that is it for today. I yacked a lot, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.